Hey y'all, Mama Lou here. And I was actually posed a question, it's actually happened a couple of times, on what's a good tarot deck to use to learn on. So I thought I would kind of show you some of my favorites and then we can slowly progress along the way to a little bit more advanced, to a little bit more intuitive based cards. So that's what we're going to do today. Okay, I can't find my originals. I think someone is using them. But the first deck I got was just the basic Rider Waite Smith deck. All right. These are the ones that you see in like television, movies, classic ones where you see, you know, they're very basic. This is a mini deck that I can use as clarifiers because they're a little bit smaller, you know, but anyways, but yeah, so they're the ones that you know. So these are the first ones that I learned on. And yes, these come with one of those like little tiny booklets that come with it. So when I first got mine, I was like going through these little things and I still didn't quite understand what it meant. And that's okay. When you're first starting out, try not to let yourself get overwhelmed or anything like that. Feel free to use those little booklets that come with it, but that's not the way that actually worked for me in learning to read tarot. My favorite version of the classic Rider-Waite is actually the Radiant Wise Spirit tarot. The reason I like it is that it is borderless. The pictures come in a little bit more vividly for me. The quality of these ones are very nice. Like I've had this for a very long time and they're still like super sturdy, hold up and everything like that. But I like that you can, it's a little bit more zoomed in of the pictures, and that's why I like this one if I'm gonna use a traditional, you know, we're going old school, just original Rider-Waite Smith style deck. All right, once I kind of used that deck for quite some time, it was hard not to go school with it. It was hard for me not to just want to read every book about it and just like learn all my definitions and do all this stuff. And I did that. I honestly did. I am very let me read about it and then I can figure it out kind of a person. But that alone didn't make me feel overly connected to the cards or being or feeling like I could actually be reading them any more than anyone else who could follow instructions and read a book. And so I was like, okay, I had a teacher at the time and they were like, you got to get out of your head. You got to have something that connects and that you feel, you know, inspired by a little bit. So I had completely already gotten out of my church upbringing and embracing who I have been since I was a kid. And so I finally told myself, well, what do I want to connect with more? What is something that I've been like suppressing or stuffing or that I haven't really been able to explore a whole lot along my spiritual path because I'm kind of like starting over, you know, as an older person. So I got this. This is the Witch's Tarot. And it's still in the same style as the Rider-Waite, but with a little bit more, I don't know, it just connected with me a whole lot more. It just did. And I'm still able to remember the stuff I learned from the books, but in this way, I can feel a little bit more connection to it. And I instantly, once I got this deck, I was able to, like, my intuition clicked back on and it was like I was a kid again and all that stuff started coming together. I'm glad I had the base knowledge that I got from all the book learning and the few people who I took lessons from. But once I found this deck and really got connected to it in a deeper way than just, you know, this is a study that I'm, you know, just trying to learn more about. That's when I was able to let loose and just be able to read them like a language in and of themselves. Once I was doing tarot for a couple of years at that point. I was ready to kind of just branch out and just trust my intuition a little bit more. So I got my first deck that was non-traditional in regards to the symbolism and things like that. I mean, the symbolism's still in there, but just a little different. And that's when I got the Crow Tarot. Let me see if I have the box. I do. That's when I got the Crow Tarot. I was actually at a metaphysical type fair place or whatever, and someone was using these, and I got a reading from them at the time, and they used this deck, and so afterwards I was like, okay, I understand that language as well. I can advance to the next step of where I don't necessarily have to have people in them, or you know, very traditional, this is what this card looks like type of cards. And so that's when I got this deck. And like I said, some of the symbolism is still the same, but some of it you have to kind of look at it a little differently, you know. The Five of Pentacles in this one looks a little different, you know. It's not completely the same. So I thought this was a great intermediate from this is the classic to what's still kind of classic, but gets me out of my comfort zone a little bit. And this deck is awesome for that. The only thing is that, well, now that I have a lot more decks, there are certain readings that I do where I incorporate these, and there's certain readings that I incorporate other decks, because each deck to me speaks to me a little bit differently, gives me messages a little bit differently. Some of them have cards that are like, you know, little clues for me if this comes out, where that may be the regular meaning, but it's a clue to me from my connection that I need to clue into what this card is really telling me, not what, you know, the definition of it is. And so I have a couple of those, but yeah, I don't know if that's helpful or not. But anyways, the decks are, this was a great next step is literally what I'm getting to. This one generally is the deck I used if someone needs some hard truths. Like if I have a client that I'm like, I'm going to have to break some news to you, or there's something you're not paying attention to, or anytime I feel like it's going to be a little heavier, these cards really help me do that, because who doesn't love crows? You know, who doesn't love them? All right, now I'm going to rapid fire some of these just so that we can get to them. Another non-traditional one that I really like is the Muse Tarot. It looks like this. This one, it has some of the similar, but you really got to be in tune to your energy. You really got to follow your intuition on these ones a lot more. But they can give you some really interesting depth and some different ways of looking at things, which I find amazing. So the Muse Tarot, yes, more advanced, but also still usable if you feel very connected with your guides or the universe, however you do your thing. The next one that is more advanced but also beautiful is the Threads of Fate here. This is their Weaver Tarot edition. I think these can only be ordered straight from the company, but you can tell they are like silver leafed, and this is the Hangman. So I know you traditionally would see the hangman as literally a person hanging upside down from the tree or the world tree. So again, a little bit more advanced, but still super cool and holographic, which I really like. So these ones are really beautiful as well. That if you're really connected to your intuition, great. Where did I put it? The other one, and I've seen people use this one a lot on TikTok here. This is the Lightseers Tarot. I don't know if I got the box. I keep like doing this thing where I'm like, okay, here's the box for this one. This one, again, it's a little bit more classic, but it has really different imagery to similar things, and it feels a little updated, a little bit more hip and with it to the Rider-Waite Smith deck. So if you want something that would be a good transition one as well, if you'd like to move from classic to that. I hope that this was helpful. If you guys want to see more decks, or if you have more questions about anything, let me know. But if you're starting out learning tarot, I think that that's the best way to go. Classic. then move on.